What is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Franca, and I'm glad you're here. Of course, we're going over the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively lawsuit again. And now I'm like 20-something episodes in, and I feel like this is taking too long. These lawsuits are crazy long. I don't even remember where the heck I left off. So let's jump right in. I don't remember where we left off. So we're just gonna start where it has been left and hope that this is the right spot. So we have an email from Jennifer to Stephanie Jones. First of all, I want to say thank you for the call we had a couple days ago. I know it wasn't easy, and I'm so appreciative that you trust me enough to be vulnerable, honest, and for us to have a real conversation about our working relationship. I know you are currently going through a lot with work, personal life, your health, and last thing I want to do is add to that. I hope you know me well enough by now that no matter how dramatic I can be, I really do strive to make work life easier on you and take as much as possible off your plate. Since I resigned, I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I want with my career. I may have quit under unforeseen circumstances, but these past 2 weeks, I've really taken a step back to reevaluate what I want for next steps. I really do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I wanted to really reflect on why things continue to escalate between the two of us and why I was constantly feeling like I was letting you down. I take full responsibility for my part in all of this. I'm not proud of how emotional I get in these situations or the way I choose to step away when I feel like we're not making any progress in our conversations. I know I have things to work on as well with my communication, and this whole situation has been a good learning moment for me on the ways I need to improve how I get my point across. With all that said, the facts remain. I respect you immensely. I'm so grateful for the opportunities you have given me with your premier clients and how you have lifted me up as your partner. I would not have had the opportunity to be in many of the rooms I have been in without you opening the door. This company you have built is exceptional, and I hold our teams with the highest regard. I know I didn't do it myself, but I do take pride in what I've contributed to your LA office and the team I've been building and managing over the past 4 years, along with new clients and opportunities I've procured. I do feel it's necessary at this point that I continue to move forward with my resignation. I say this with a heavy heart, yet with the excitement. I have left a company before with grace and with my relationships intact, and that's what I fully plan on and hope for. In order to plan, I will need to stick with my previous communicated end date of August 23rd, and I hope is plenty of time to ensure a smooth transition for all. I thank you again for the most amazing time here at JW, and I look forward to our relationship continuing in this new capacity. Thank you again for understanding and for your support. With love, Jennifer. However, as Abel's end date drew closer, Jones grew more combative. With several weeks left in her tenure and innumerable client matters to handle, Abel found that she had been removed from client email distribution lists and left in the dark about meetings, calls, and events she was expected to attend. It was clear to Abel that Jones was trying to embarrass Abel and tarnish her professional reputation in advance of her departure. Okay, we're gonna ignore those texts. I can't read them. In her final week, Abel contacted Jones' chief and staff concerning the release of her phone number. When Abel joined Jones' work in 2020, she ported her existing phone number, which she had used since high school, and switched to JonesWorks' issued iPhone, knowing that she would have to turn over the physical device upon her departure. Abel arranged for her phone number to be released so she could port it to a new device and retain decades worth of personal contacts, photos, private conversations with friends and family, and confidential financial data and access accounts protected by two-factor authentication. JonesWorks' chief of staff assured her multiple times in writing that JonesWorks would cooperate and uphold their agreement. And then we have more texts that aren't really readable. On August 21st, 2024, 2 days before her last day, Abel pulled up to the JonesWorks office in Beverly Hills. There, she was confronted by a physically imposing security guard, a lawyer sitting at a conference table covered in documents, an IT professional, and Jones' chief of staff, who had flown in unannounced from New York. Apart from Jones' chief of staff, Abel had never seen any of them before. After being ushered into a conference room, Abel saw that the security guard was posted just outside its doors, blocking the exit. There, the attorney pointed to the documents and told Abel in a menacing and cold tone to review and sign them. The attorney told her that JonesWorks believed she had proprietary information on her personal laptop and would likely have grounds to sue if Abel did not allow them access. Completely caught off guard by this hostile and intimidating display, Abel fell into a state of shock. She had never experienced anything like this and did not know what to do. Fearful that she would burst into tears and humiliate herself, which she knew was what Jones wanted. Abel disassociated. Knowing she had not done anything wrong and desperate to get out of there, Abel signed the documents without digesting their contents. Afterwards, the lawyer demanded that Abel hand over her personal laptop. Abel complied, and the IT professional conducted a search that turned up nothing. The attorney then presented Abel with a list of approximately 10 documents and accused Abel of having accessed and stolen them. Abel denied having done so, and the IT specialist conducted a further search of her laptop, which again turned up nothing. The attorney then instructed Abel to hand over her phone, after which security would escort her out of the building. Still utterly shell-shocked and desperate to get out of here, Abel agreed to hand over her phone as long as they would confirm that Joneswork would immediately release her personal cell phone number, which would enable Joneswork to take possession of the physical device without gaining unrestrained access to its content. It would also allow Abel to get a new phone and move on with her life without undue disruption. After express confirmation from the Joneswork chief of staff and attorney, Abel handed them the phone and was ushered out of the building as her colleagues watched in disbelief. Seeing that Abel had been stripped of her phone and therefore had no way to contact anyone, someone reached out to Abel's partner, family and friends, and former coworkers to let them know what happened. Abel went straight to a Verizon store a short distance away. Once there, Verizon contacted Joneswork to coordinate the release and transfer. The Joneswork chief of staff assured Abel and Verizon that they were in the process of effectuating the release and to bear with them for a few minutes. Abel never heard from him again. After 4 hours of desperate, unanswered calls, Abel left Verizon in panic and despair. Abel realized Jones had double-crossed her in a very serious way. By refusing to release Abel's phone number, Joneswork had usurped her contact information and cut off Abel's access to critical accounts by two-factor authentication linked to that phone number. As a result, Abel lost access to her iCloud, including all her text messages, photos, and contacts, bank accounts, utilities, insurance, and virtually every other sensitive account. Jones now had unrestricted access to everything stored on Abel's phones, her text messages, emails, personal photos. Jones could read her communications with her fiance, parents, friends, everyone. Jones was acting purely out of spite. Then we have a text from Jennifer to Steph. Steph, Gordon, this is Jen Abel, my new Sal. I'm writing to you both as a personal plea to please release my cell phone number. This is the same number I've had since high school. This isn't a work-related thing. This is my personal number that is linked to all of my bills, my medical, Chris's dad's living facility, all of my personal emails and accounts, and due to two-factor authentication, I can't access anything. Gordon, you wrote me numerous times you were going to release this, and then when Verizon was calling you during the 4 hours I was there, you never picked up. They said you never even started the process after you told me you did. The lawyer I was ambushed with yesterday even said this was fine to do. I've been nothing but good to you, both, but this is just mean and egregious, and I'm begging you to please release it before I travel tomorrow. Please, you have no use for the 904 number that has been my personal number before you took on billing. It takes one phone call, please. It took Abel over a month to regain control of all her accounts. Meanwhile, she learned that Jones had been sharing her private text messages with the entire office, mocking and disparaging her. Having torched Abel's privacy and dignity, Jones started boasting that Abel's business was next. In or around early September 2024, Jones warned a departing employee not to work for Abel because her business wouldn't be around much longer. I guess this is Abel to a Joneswork employee. Abel says, "Oh, okay, I didn't mean to put you guys in a weird spot. Sorry about that. Just wanted to ask. Just know that whatever she is telling you guys about me or what I've done, it's not true. I've enjoyed working with you both and wish you nothing but the best." Joneswork employee says, "Unfortunately, your company phone says otherwise." Abel says, "About you guys, I've always been upfront with feedback and have held your hands to set you up for success the entire time with JB. I've given criticism and have told you both upfront where Justin has been unhappy, especially you, blank. This hurts my feelings, but at least my lawyer will be happy to know that personal texts are being shared with employees, and it's unfortunate that you have drank the Kool-Aid. I'll still be here when you guys wake up, sending nothing but love." By then, Jones also had an axe to grind with Wayfarer. For the entirety of Wayfarer's 4-year engagement with Joneswork, Abel was the point person on the account. Jones was more concerned with prestige clients like Tom Brady and devoted little to Wayfarer or Baldoni. But Joneswork was in utter turmoil by July 2024. Already bleeding clients and personnel, Jones learned that Business Insider was working on an unflattering story about her set to be published sometime in August. Her reputation had already been severely damaged by the Stephanie Jones Leaks website and social media accounts. Jones was desperate to keep her remaining clients. Given Abel's close relationship with Wayfarer and Baldoni, Jones was undoubtedly concerned that they would leave Joneswork alongside her, and she wanted to make sure that did not happen. At the time, Wayfair and Baldoni were in the midst of a massive PR crisis, as news stories began to trickle out concerning tension between Lively and Baldoni just as the film was about to premiere. Jones started participating in meetings, calls, and written correspondence to reassert her authority over the account and convey her engagement to Wayfair. Abel recommended that Wayfair engage a crisis PR specialist, Melissa Nathan, to assist in navigating these choppy waters. The need for crisis PR expertise was particularly acute due to Lively's demand that Baldoni not be permitted to attend the premiere. In addition, Abel learned from Nathan that per her media contacts, a negative story was being shopped around to multiple outlets, positioning Baldoni's religion as a cult and accusing Baldoni of having fat-shamed Lively. This is from Melissa to Jen, and also, as you know, this is a twisting turning because we don't know their moves. But don't worry, I get it. I may just drink half a tank of Pepto-Bismol and I'll be ready for the call. Jen says, yes, exactly. And maybe that's how you approach the Baha'i thing. That we have no idea of this approach and why we can't be proactive as we have no idea what she will come up with. Melissa said, done. Jen said, Pepto mixed with espresso and you're good to go. Melissa said, he also cannot come across as a victim here. We are walking a very fine line. Jen says, exactly. He can't look guilty either by shying away from this stuff. When Jones learned that Wayfair was considering retaining Nathan, she was furious. Jones viewed Nathan as a competitor and conveyed to Abel that her recommendation to Wayfair was a betrayal of trust. Jones then sought to derail the plan, badmouthing Nathan and disclosing clients' confidences from past collaborations between Jones' work and Nathan. Stephanie to Jen. A lot of the text is blurred out. This kind of mess, Melissa Nathan, crisis PR, lies and cleans up. Lies, dirty work. I also don't want Blake's team to align you with people like this Melissa works with. While Heath acknowledged Jones' position, he told her Wayfair would make its own decision after meeting Nathan. So Jones inserted herself into the mix in early August 2024, seeking to box out Nathan and Abel. The problem, however, was that Jones had chosen not to be privy to Wayfair's leadership communication strategy or internal decision-making, having long claimed to be too busy with her higher-profile clients. Wayfair was fine with Jones's designation as Abel was their trusted advisor, and they had no interest in being a pawn in Jones' work's office politics. In addition, Jones had chosen to take a lengthy vacation in Europe during this critical period of the press campaign and premiere of the film. Even from afar, Jones's efforts were ham-fisted, unwelcome, sporadic, given her distant from Wayfair's day-to-day business. As Jones tried to stir up drama and undermine Abel's authority, Wayfair and Baldoni were focused solely on managing the crisis in front of them. At the time, Lively and Baldoni's teams had negotiated an uneasy truce in which neither side would participate in negative coverage of the other. Lively's team had barely broken that truce, but the Wayfair team did not know that then. As far as they were concerned, it was best for Baldoni Lively in the film if both sides agreed to keep the peace. Though Wayfair's team had to date been acting only in defense in responding to press inquiries. But on August 8, 2024, Jones, in another desperate attempt to reinsert herself, contacted a Daily Mail reporter about a story they had published about Baldoni and Lively. She did so in direct violation of Abel's instructions not to talk to the press given the truth with Lively's team. Nonetheless, Jones bragged to Wayfair about trading calls with the Daily Mails in an effort to appear engaged on the account. This is from Stephanie to Jamie, Justin, and Wayfair. Left word for blank. She's been very nice in the past, so we will get this fixed. From someone to Jennifer. Hi, I'm a reporter for Daily Mail, and I'm currently working on a story surrounding the recent rumors that there was a feud between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. People on social media are talking about how they didn't pose together at the premiere or do any press together. I wanted to give you a chance to respond to these rumors. Please let me know if you have any comments. Thank you. Stephanie then says, Blank has been nice and fixed things for us in the past. I can give her a call. This is a nothing burger. This blatant disregard of Wayfair's strategies sparked a chain of unfortunate developments. Salone and Sony learned that someone from Baldoni's team had been communicating negatively to media. It was clearly Jones, and Wayfair's leadership was livid, as was Sony. All parties were desperate to prevent an all-out slugfest between Lively and Baldoni just as the film was about to be released to the world. With her reckless and unauthorized activities, Jones had made that scenario much more likely. In response, Wayfair instructed Jones to cease all activities on behalf of Wayfair and Baldoni for the time being and to let Abel and another Los Angeles-based Jones Work employee, Matthew Mitchell, handle the crisis alongside Nathan. At this time, Nathan started hearing from other journalists that Salone was planting negative stories about Baldoni and was under the impression that Baldoni's camp had broken the truce. Anxious Sony executives began reaching out to Wayfair seeking clarity. Someone to Justin. Wayfair is a big studio now propelled into a tier upwards. Protecting you and the brand is something you need to do. You want us to get a headline, and then it shows a headline about Harvey Weinstein, an article about Leslie Salone. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I guess it's Justin says, do you believe Leslie? Can you spin the crisis PR thing so it's actually factual? There have been lies put out up against powerful people, just protecting myself. Tag represents a lot of people, and that headline was not just to smear more. So do we say Blake and Ryan hire Harvey publicists? That's a conversation I'm gonna have with Jen/Jamie today. Or maybe it's Justin, I have no idea. Someone on their side's talking. Justin sends a text, hey tag team, I've been seeing some IG comments on random posts defending me by people who are private with no followers and they feel like bots. Can you please confirm we're not doing any of that? I really don't want bots defending me as it feeds into their narrative. And then someone says, I can fully confirm we do not have bots. This is not also what we do. Bots look fake to anyone. The other team is doing something very specific in terms of what they do. I know Jamie and Jed connected on this. Bots and fan accounts are also run pretty organically by now with all the AI platforms and Google Analytics itself. There's no bot army that's a myth these days. Any digital team these days is far more intelligent to utilize something so obvious. Okay, and then we have Justin to Jen. Okay, please monitor. Things I'm more worried about is that we are planting these stories, which is not true, obviously. Jen says, chiming in here, the people saying that there are bots and this is PR play on your side is minority voice compared to the thousands and thousands who are calling it what it is and reacting to Blake's own actions and interviews. We never want the action of the minority to dictate what we do on our end. We have to always look at the bigger picture, which is still enormously on your side. But I do see a want and need from fans to move on. People are now commenting that they are bored with the many articles still coming out about this drama. When we move on, they do too. So we need to find ways to keep elevating not just the DV reaction, but also the other things in your life like family, being back home, and Wayfair. It's not tone deaf in my opinion, but sends the message that you're focusing on what really matters, and that's what will help with the Blake narrative too. My point of view. Melissa sends a text to Justin and probably Jen too. Melissa says, good morning, sharing with you a perfect example of why we don't use bots. I wouldn't even worry to think that they've hired a team as A, nothing to find, B, they hired an awful team, which I've sent to our guy to track down and pull so we have evidence of it. This below should answer everyone's question on what a bot team looks like when every single comment suddenly skews in her favor in a nonsensical way. At least sprinkle them in. She needs to fire her bot team. Justin says, how can we say somehow that we are not doing any of this? It looks like we're trying to take her down. Melissa says, it doesn't. They are doing all of this themselves and it's really obvious. This is bots. Yet Jones panicked about being blamed, refused to be sidelined, insisting that she needed to contact Sony and Lively's PR teams to clarify that she had not planted any negative stories about Lively. Heath told her not to do that, to which Jones responded that she could do whatever she wants to clear her name and that Wayfair could not stop her from making calls. Desperate to salvage her reputation with Lively and Sony, Jones emailed a number of key Sony executives working on the film to declare that she was in Europe with her husband, partner at WME, Jason Hodes, and placing all blame on her team. In her attempt to save face, Jones ruptured her relationship with Wayfair and Baldoni. Although Jones ultimately agreed to stand down, Wayfair and Baldoni had lost all trust in her after parachuting in for self-interested reasons, nearly blowing up the truce with Lively's team and lashing out when she was told to stop. Jones became a magnet for drama when it was least needed. We're going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and comment down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.